30 things in 30 days.
This wall of murals was painted by several artists. I see Cecil Tomball, I know Ruben Vanterpool, I know Quito has one, a number of the local artists. The gentleman there you're looking at, he hails from this community, Mr. Daniel Farrington, see his name on the wall. And the stories as depicted shows a real life setting. You know, back in time, the old bat pan was used as the bass drum. You see the squash, it would be a gourd, what we call a gourd, and they would dry it and take nails and put in the ribs so that you could then get a sound that you hear in fungi bands. People are very talented, especially the men. You see that people made a lot of their utensils. I remember they took like a butter pan and they made it, you know, a bucket for the well, and they took something would be stored in a small tin can. It became a cup to be used for your coffee or your cow milk. See, this one here was done by Dean Smith, called Ghost. Like I said, another. This is interesting. Look at the schoolhouse. Look at the blackboard outside. Children often gathered outside to sometimes under a tree to do lessons. I've done a lot of it myself.
Okay, tell me why this mural is important. Why was it important for the community, and why is it important for tourism?
Well, it speaks volumes as to BVI in times past. Put it that way. You see the heritage dancers. You look the brick oven. The ladies baking. Donkeys. We didn't have big trucks, but the donkeys were used to carry the load. She's making cassava bread. You know. Look at him drawing from the well, the water from the well, and the cows going to the dip. That's a memory that a lot of people still have of farmers and what life was like. Basically outlined a lot of information from the stories.
Yes.
That are painted on the wall. And let me take this moment to say that it was Mrs. Eileen Lucia Parsons' initiative to have this wall painted, get the artists to do the work and document. This is a documentary of life in the BVI. There's so many sections of it. I mean, look, the bread is coming from the oven, you see? And we can talk around all the stories that are on the wall. But I also want to point out that this palms and greenery, we put that in this term because the area above the wall was a bit unsightly with all the cassia and prickly trees and, you know, untidy for such a fantastic artwork as this. And we thought that we'd do something to beautify it, because beautification is one of the focus that we are having in the district this time around. Here's a big stop, but as you can see, it's a bit narrow for the buses as they come through. So we are talking to the landowners adjacent right there to be able to create a pullover and maybe a nice hillside restaurant with the deck. I mean, feel the breeze. You know, anyone relaxing there wouldn't want to leave.
Very true.
That we hope that would soon materialize, that they would either do it themselves or lease or sell to the government, you know, whatever. Now that we have an agreement with the ships to bring tourists all year long, you know, there are going to be lots of opportunities for local entrepreneurs to take advantage of, to develop their ideas, their creativity. Even below there, we can create trails and so on. And that is something that I am encouraging residents in the area to do, to, you know, offer services, guided tours. Mr. Vanterpool is soon to open his gallery the artist.
Yes.
And he's such an outstanding icon in artists in
Artistry,
artwork,
yes.
in artistry. We know that it's going to become famous,
Yeah.
a famous spot. In the distance, we can see the sign that tells all about the guava berry. You know, guava berry is our national drink. And we wanted the tourists to read a little about the significance of the guava berry. The tree near the sign is in fact a guava berry tree. So that's a signage there that tells them about it and the song and the importance and how the Fungi band plays is that every Christmas, no home, and this is very traditional, that every home had to have either a Jimmy John or a bottle of guava berry at Christmas time. A lot of it is down the hill is already paved because what we did, we were picking out the bad spots and doing those first. You're still on Rogues Bay if you go left and you continue into Cotton Bay on the right side. There are a number of houses. Through the trees you probably can see some of the roofs. But families are moving out for safer, more spacious areas to raise their families. The entire grounds, we're going to uplift the whole area. We're going to put in new bleachers and everything. It's going to become a modern court, really. A much more modern court. And we announced this just last Saturday when Minister Walwyn came to speak to the youngsters and tell them what the plans for further developing this area, what the plans are. I actually have a set of the plans, but the work has not started. However, in a short time,
It will begin?
it will begin. You know, it's been planned for quite a while. And we're going to tie this in with the street running behind there, putting in the sidewalks, fixing the bridge, fixing some parking, and really you're going to see a beautiful sight. I love the district. You have to see that it's moving in a certain direction. The people here really do have an entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
You know, they want to be in business. They're hardworking. They have skills. They have talent. Think on the number of bands that have come out of this district.
Yes.
Think on some artists. We have, you know, youngsters progressing and bringing out their work. And we want to continue that. And there's a lot more to be done, really. But we are tackling it. So in this new term,
Looking forward.
more
progress?
much more progress. We're going to be building on what we have started. This is only a foundation that was laid.
Yes.
And we are going to be building on that foundation. So I'm pretty much looking for, and people are excited about it. You know,
I can agree.
They like to hear the plans. They made their input. They're still making an input, making their suggestions as to what should be done.
Yes.
And it's coming. We're going to put in sidewalks in some areas down the road.
Okay.
And we are bringing up the district.
You have to start from the bottom with the infrastructure,
You
right?
always, listen, a house cannot be built except it's built on solid foundation. And I can truly say now that the foundation is laid,
We can continue
we
to
can
grow.
continue, and that's exactly why we are continuing, and that's why everyone has declared they're not going to take a risk
They'll have
because
to
it may
vote
not
for.
get done. It wasn't done before the last time that they try something else,
Yes.
and so you know they decide to, you know something, let's go forward.
Yes.
Let's build on what we have.
And we're
And
gonna
we
go
know what we
forward.
have, we don't know what we'll get.
Yes.
And they're pretty strong in that perception.
7 down, 23 more to go.
Action speaks.